Kyle, first up, with playing the subcontinent, has there been extra emphasis put on playing the sweep shot, both conventional and reverse?
I don't think there's been any extra emphasis put on it. I think it's just something that I've worked on quite a bit against spin bowling. Yeah, it's not really a subcontinent specific thing, but I think, like I said, back home, if I'm facing spin, I'll try and play it as much as possible. And yeah, faced a lot of spin out there today, so yeah, that's kind of what I try to do.
How do you view the significance of this century after scoring your first one in New Zealand? When you announced yourself as a test player, and how does it feel having played such a key role in this match?
I think this one probably for me felt like a bit of a better one. Just in terms of the context of the game and the conditions, obviously I think New Zealand is a lot similar to our conditions back home, so to do it in the subcontinent and yeah, on quite a tough wicket and in tough circumstances, I think for me it's probably a better innings. And yeah, like I said, the impact that it's had on the game, I think hopefully will be a bit bigger than the first one. So yeah, from my side, I'm really happy with it. It's been a long time since the one in New Zealand, so it's nice to sort of get another one and contribute in another game.
Well, last one before I open to the floor. Just talk us through the review meeting after day one from a batting point of view. Also, was it in that meeting where the plan to play sweep shots on day two was discussed?
Yeah, so I think obviously the batters at Selectica, myself and Wiaan Mulder, we chatted quite a bit this morning and just spoke to the batting coach Dane Piedt about how we're going to try and go about things. Don't think there's any specific emphasis put on playing the sweep. I think it was more just about making sure that we back our options, and whatever we do, just make sure we're trying to commit, and then also just not going into our shells and making sure that we're trying to score. I think both Vesey and I, when we trying to score and playing positively, we get into better positions. So I think that was the emphasis that or the focus that we put on today. And then yeah, just chatting with Dane Piedt about what to do if we get in with the tail and stuff like that. Sort of just gave us a lot of clarity when I was batting with the likes of Piedt and then a little bit cagey at the end. So yeah, that's pretty much what we spoke about.
Kyle, well played today. Your last record innings before today was at quite a cold, wet Trent Bridge about a month ago. Almost kind of polar opposite conditions here. How do you manage that transition in your game, particularly as it hasn't been a big preparation in the country?
Yeah, I think that was obviously quite a long time ago, and we've had a bit of one-day cricket in between that, and the ODIs that we played were in Abu Dhabi, so it's sort of, well, not similar to conditions to this, but in terms of like heat and sort of facing a lot more slower bowlers, it's similar in that sense. I think that sort of helped the transition. And then yeah, we had really good prep in Pretoria before we came here. We had a camp, and I think we tried to simulate the conditions as much as possible, which helped a lot. And then yeah, I think we were here 4 or 5 days before this test started and did quite a bit of prep yeah, at the ground. So yeah, I think, like I said, our prep was really good, and that sort of gave me a lot of confidence going into this game. Forgot about that innings, to be honest. It's so long ago, and there's been so much in between it. So yeah, I think it's just been a case of really good prep that sort of paid off.
Just a quick follow-up. I saw you didn't take the field at the start of the third innings. Was that due to injury?
Oh no, I was fine. It's just the doctor wanted to just give me a bit of a break, so yeah.
Congratulations, Wiaan. Your joy was evident in the celebration, which was very long and obviously very passionate. Is there any story behind this celebration, and it surely is the best knock you have played so far?
No story really. Just started doing like a bow. I don't know why, but I did once, and the guys quite enjoyed it, so I just said I'll do it every time I get to 100. There's no real meaning, nothing special about it, so it's just quite fun to do.
And then just the second part was just how special was this your most special innings?
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, it's definitely so far in my test career the best innings that I think I've played. Yeah, it's probably the toughest conditions I've played under, just in terms of like the heat and the humidity and stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, obviously back home you don't necessarily go through long periods of facing just spin bowling, and I think for probably 90% of that innings was just against spin, where things are happening quickly and you don't have much time to sort of reset. So I think from a concentration point of view and just physical point of view, it was the toughest. So definitely the most rewarding and yeah, up until now the best one, I think.
Any further questions? Yeah,
I think this morning it probably played a little bit better than it did yesterday. I don't know if that's just dried out a little bit or there wasn't as much moisture, but I think it played a little bit better. But it seems to be getting tough again as the day's gone on. So I think tomorrow and going further in the test, I think it'll get tougher and tougher. Just with the sweep shots, I think yeah, a lot of our guys have different ways of going about playing it. For me, that's obviously something that I've worked on. But I mean, you saw Wiaan score a lot of runs through other areas. Tony also scored a lot of runs through other areas, Ryan as well. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily an important thing to do. I think it's just, yeah, for my game, it's one of my strengths, so I try and stick to it. But I think we saw a lot of guys score runs without using that. So yeah, I think it's just about the individual.